Yes, thank you. Just to follow up on Kamala's point. Now, you're saying that, okay, they likely broke the law, but not enough to change policy. So what is the point of the report? I mean, in simple terms, what is the point?
I think I answered that question,
I understand.
Saeed.
I just want to hear.
If you understand, then why are you asking?
No, I want to hear, your justification for if you have the report out there, policy is not going to change. There is to be breaking the law and so on. You are likely to have.
That's not what the report says, Saeed.
So
the report is public.
The report says they did not likely break the law?
The report says, first of all, let me just be clear about what this is. The National Security Memorandum does not impose any new standards. We spelled out the existing standards that have already existed, set by U.S. policy and international law, and that what we expect countries and partners to adhere to when they receive weapons from the United States. As it relates to Israel, the report does not determine that Israel has violated international humanitarian law, but we believe through various assessments of instances that it is likely that in these instances they have failed to meet their obligations of meeting international humanitarian law. But that is a process that's going to continue both through the tools that are at our disposal and at tools in which the Israeli government has to hold itself accountable.
So when the president of Israel, Herzog, says there are no civilians in Gaza, that's what he said. When Gallant says, they're human animals and we're going to wipe out Gaza, those were his words. When the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, says the Amalek spare no one, kill the children, do all that, that is not enough evidence that they were planning. They were planning.
As upsetting as it might be for you, this is not a report on rhetoric.
Okay.
This is a report on the facts on the ground, and the facts on the ground are there are civilians in Gaza. I would dispute with anybody making that claim. Yeah. But two, what we're talking about is what the facts are, and the facts are that we are dealing with a belligerent that uses civilians as human shields, has a long track record of co-locating itself with civilians and civilian infrastructure, and thus it has not been possible to make a conclusive assessment. However, we do not determine that Israel has violated international law, but what we are saying, Saeed, is that one, Israel has had to confront an extraordinary military challenge, but that simultaneously it is reasonable to assess that Israeli security forces since October 7th, there have been instances that are inconsistent with its international humanitarian law obligations. And the United States will continue to look at instances on the ground through the tools that are at our disposal. But also, our partners in Israel have indicated to us that they will continue to take steps to look into this through their own system as well.
Mm-hmm.